There we go. Whew. Right about somewhere in there. What's going on, guys? We're back in the garage today, and I've got the Nova in here. Unfortunately, it's gonna rain for like the next week and a half, something. So it kind of puts a damper on our streetcar shenanigans. But we got the Regal outside. I do have to take care of some stuff with the Nova. Now, last time we raced it, we knew we were having some issues. We thought we had a converter issue, which we might still have a converter issue. But one of the big issues we definitely had was that the head gasket's leaking. So we may have just pushed a little bit of head gasket out. Not a big deal. I've got more here. Hopefully that's all it is. If we can get that figured out and fixed, then we can get it back together, and then maybe I can work on trying to get the other converter in. I got a converter from a buddy. It's a little bit looser. Should help us out a little bit. Maybe pick up some ET, make it a little bit easier on us on some of the backside stuff and the real bad no prep where the tight converter just wasn't doing it for us. We had this issue where we had to put 22 pounds of boost or more in it at the gear change for it to accept the gear change and not drop a bunch of RPM. So I'm hoping the loose converter helps us out a little bit. And if all of that goes according to plan, then maybe we can go somewhere this weekend. It's gonna rain in our area and a lot of places, so we're gonna have to travel. I'm looking right now for different races we could possibly go to, but first we gotta make sure the car's all right. So I'm gonna work on starting to get this thing apart, and then once we have it apart, we can take a look at the head gasket. If we just lifted a head gasket, no big deal. We may have just screwed one up a little bit. We were pushing it pretty hard, trying to get the most out of it. Hopefully nothing else is broke. I don't think it is. It was just seeping some water out of the head gasket, so I think we just screwed a gasket up. How many times can I say head gasket? 2.5 minutes.
Oh man, I'm gonna put a counter on
it. You might want to put the counter on there. Ding, 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 ding. Head gasket's leaking.
Head gasket out. Head gasket. Head gasket. Head gasket.
All right, let's get to work. Well, we're at a point now where I believe I've disconnected everything. We can take the head off. Hopefully I don't lose them washers. See the damage. There we go. Whew. There we go. Judging by the look of the head gasket, you can see right here where it's all puffed up and blown out. Right there. Right about somewhere in there. One of them 16 layers. Doesn't look bad though. I don't know. I think we can slap another head gasket on it and call it a day. We'll work on getting that off. Check the other side. Slap another head gasket on it. Attempt to get it back together. Really? It's stuck right there. Alright. Oh yeah, look at that. Right there. It's a really weird looking failure. Wonder if the head gasket, I mean these were good gaskets. They got the Germany stamp on them. Ain't no Amazon specials, I can tell you that.
Please stop.
Ew.
Please stop bringing broken things in the house. Every time you come in here and you're like, hey, and there's a car part in your hand and something broken.
You want to step back here and some light?
Sure. I dread when you walk in the house looking for a car.
Yeah.
This is broken. It is broken every time.
It
Every
is.
time. Without fail.
It is, but it's a weird.
Got it.
So this, right, is this cylinder right here. Well, I'm starting to wonder, and I don't know you're gonna be able to do this because you got nails, but feel right there.
Okay. That's not.
Right.
Okay.
Do you feel what I'm feeling there?
Yeah.
All right, now come over here. And now feel this.
Sensory for adults. Feel this. Touch this. Ooh. Why is that like that?
I think it's an aluminum block, right? So where the pistons are sitting, it's still steel sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
They still sleeve it because you can't just put it in aluminum. I'm wondering if it's separating, if the sleeve is separating from the aluminum. Just a little bit. It's not much. But the sleeve,
But it's enough that you can feel it. You
Yeah.
can feel the difference.
well, you can feel it. So I don't know if, because it's not like melted, like it wasn't lean.
Like,
If the sleeve is separating from the block,
what would cause that?
age, it could just be old. It'd be a lot of heat cycles.
So like warp it over time?
It
type
could
of
be
thing?
warped, yeah. Because you got to think too. Even though it's an aluminum block and a steel sleeve, and no matter what, they're gonna have different properties, expansion and contraction, and
Okay.
heat and everything. So it could just be that it's really old. The answer could just be we need to put a different sleeve in it. Yeah, you can take it to a machine shop and they heat it up, knock the sleeve out, and then they heat the block up. You can, I don't know if they freeze it or what, or it's a tolerance thing, but they just knock the new sleeve in. The problem is then you gotta bore it out to the appropriate size for the piston and everything.
Is that even worth it? Honestly.
It's like-
Not like hopefully, I mean honestly. Realistically, is that even worth it?
Well, the question is it worth trying to put together again?
Because I thought this was just like another...
This was just the backup motor.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. Like, is it...
Is-
To me, it doesn't seem worth it. If this was like...
I mean, it's worth doing, like, to have as another backup motor, yeah. Like, it's worth keeping.
But
I'm
not
just-
putting everything on hold for it.
No.
Like, take it in for backup, but do something else in the meantime.
I have nothing else to do in the meantime. I'm out of motors.
You could learn to crochet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that one's useless without good heads.
At this point, you should probably just get good heads. What? You could be putting money into this little junkyard. Sell the
I know,
junkyard situation, parts and pieces, whatever's good, and then use that to fund.
And I don't even know that I'm correct in any of this. This is just what I'm thinking.
Well, if you're not, the internet will tell you.
The internet will definitely tell me.
Yep, I feel that. That sucks. To me, that's not worth it. Backup, yeah, sure, but I feel like you should get some heads.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
How much can we get for a kidney?
Use my kidney before you use yours.
Mine aren't that great anyway.
Well,
So
you're already a rough enough James. Take
Yeah.
one of them.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is because it's like I was talking to Derek a little bit, and I noticed that pretty immediately. I noticed it on the block. Didn't think much of it, but then when I really looked at the head, I'm like, that's kind of weird. What I want to avoid doing is just putting it back together again to do exactly the same thing. I mean, granted, we got quite a bit, quite a bit of passes and quite a bit of life out of it, but that's not so hot. Starting to wonder. I mean, that's what makes the most. It feels like it's at the sleeve. Like the sleeve is just kind of And then that would explain why it's pinching that gasket in the way it is and folding it over. It could have been like that from the start, and it just took this long to let go.
Right.
Like I said, we're not lean. It's not melted. It's not those kinds of issues. Anybody that wants to buy an RV?
Poor thing's been on sale for
a while.
For a while now.
You just need like $5,000 for the RV, and I can get us a set of heads and a Holly HP. And maybe a mechanical fuel pump, and we can run methanol and have good heads.
That'd be nice.
35 pounds of boost. I'm not gonna say we won't have problems anymore. There's always problems in racing, but did the sleeve sink a little? Hard to see, but it'd be pretty noticeable if that's what I was talking about. Yeah, see, he's saying it'd be pretty noticeable. Ah, we got the block and head later detector. I'm gonna grab that. The block and head later detector. Even says it right on there.
If anything, it's sunk. I mean, it's microscopic.
The question is it worth putting back together again and finding out? That's the question. Until next time, will we get some answers? I don't know anymore. I figured it out. The sequence of events that transpired that led us to this. So, we know a couple things. We know that if the engine is not under full power, with this tight converter, it'll drop 2,000 RPM on the shift, which is absolutely terrible for an LS because we're dropping it right into its peak torque range in RPM, right? So you're like, well, we were dropping 2,000 RPM because we blew the head gasket. No. Think what happened when I started looking around here. We got a plug wire that got burnt up that was under the sleeve, could not see. So we had erroneous spark. Is that the right use of the word erroneous?
I'm not sure.
We have to Google that. But we had a spark issue which led us to be down on power, which then would not provide the torque converter enough power to make the shift properly. It drops 2,000 RPM. We knocked the head gasket out of it. That's why all this happened. Spark plug wire. So what we're going to do to fix it is obviously a new spark plug wire, but we're going to clean this up a little bit. We're going to put it back together because even if we want to go with new motor stuff, we don't need anything out of this, right? That motor is getting everything new, other than, I mean, maybe the oil pan, but even still, I'll probably still try to get a new oil pan for that one. We're going to throw a new head gasket in this. We're going to clean that surface up. We're going to clean the surface up on the head a little bit, very fine. What we can do, put it back together, a new plug wire in, swap the converter out, so we don't have this problem. Hopefully the looser converter should react better to the shift of not dropping 2,000 RPM if we don't have 20 plus pounds of boost through it. I think it was either 20 or 22 we had to hit to get it to make the shift. Eureka. See, I asked the internet and it wasn't even just people talking and they're in, well, this is why you knock the head gasket out. You're, dropping 2,000 RPM, you're putting in the peak torque. Yes. Correct. Now I know why it did that though. It was one of those things. What came first, the chicken or the egg? I thought the head gasket is why we were down on power and dropping RPM. No, we blew the head gasket out because when we took it to the track the last time and tried to make a couple passes figuring out what was wrong with it, we kept dropping it into that torque range. Under power, under load, tons of cylinder pressure. And then you've got, and it was that hole that the spark plug wire was messed up on, burnt up. So is it firing? Is it not? We don't know. It's not firing correctly. We know that. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bam. Let's throw it back together.
Guess what else we gotta check, Brandon?
What?
We gotta make sure we didn't bend the rod. Come on. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. She's fucked, mate. We ain't putting it back together. You see what I see? That one's obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look. This over here to that over there. Yeah. So it did bend a rod when it happened. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's sitting like this. You can kind of, I don't know.
But you can see.
She's sitting like that. Maine, Harry Darnell, if you watch my videos, you've been commenting on my posts. You just saved me a lot of, well, I'm not going to say you saved me a lot of time and heartache, but you saved me a lot putting this thing back together with a bent rod. Because he's like, yeah, I would check to make sure you bent that rod. Pull the pan off. We can't pull the pan off. Worst case, we could have grabbed a dial indicator. We don't need no dial indicator for that one. Not a big deal. It's just a bent rod. And it's just stock bottom engine 4 stuff. But for a car that drove in here under its own power and still went 606, 608 to the 8th, dropping 2,000 RPM and everything else. Yeah. Damn it, man. Alright, so we need a new motor. Or a new bottom end, or we need something. Well, today didn't quite go like I thought it was going to. I thought we were going to throw some head gaskets in this. Head gasket count on the video is probably up to like 67 at this point. But we ran into some more problems, and now I'm kind of stuck at a point. I'll tell you guys why I'm stuck. What was supposed to happen is I was going to get this back together, get it raceable, take it racing, enjoy it a little bit, knowing that we were kind of at the limit of a few things and that we were going to need some upgrades. What the game plan was that I hadn't talked about is we were going to get this together, be able to race it, go have fun with it, whatever. And on the way, should be here tomorrow, we've got a few boxes showing up that are some repairs for the white Camaro. I've been unable to sell the white Camaro. Nobody's jumped on it yet, and after we did some quick math in the head, we kind of figured out that if we took this whole combination and put it into the white Camaro, we would lose about 500 pounds, which is really a pretty big deal. We're after some weight savings to try to do more with what we have. No big deal, just trying to get faster, and you know, I've proven my point. I said that this one would go faster than the white Camaro. It did, and then some. And now I'm kind of like, okay, well, based on the things that I've learned, I feel like I could redo the white Camaro, fix it up a little bit. There were some things that I was unhappy with the car. You know, it didn't have an anti-roll bar, so I ordered one of those. I wanted to change the shock mounts, so I ordered those. I wanted to change the ladder bar mounts, so I ordered those. So those things are all on the way, and what was going to happen is we were going to race this, and then I was going to bring the Camaro over here, start cutting, welding, fixing that up, and when we got to a point where we felt like, okay, we're ready to make the change, take everything out of the Nova, put in the Camaro. Well, now we need a motor, so that kind of jumbles my thought process up here a little bit. I think that at this point, we really should be looking into possibly using the Texas Speed motor. I think we've got a good enough handle on things now, seeing what caused this issue. There would be some differences in the way the Texas Speed motor was done and whatnot too, and especially if it's in the white Camaro, we don't burn plug wires because the coils are mounted differently and all this other kind of stuff. I'm not quite sure what is going to happen just yet. I do know that it's raining now. It's going to continue raining all week long. I don't exactly have space to pull all this stuff out now and set it off to the side, especially if I want to keep working in here. We're kind of at a stopping point. I need a little bit of time myself to just think about what I want to do next and the game plan, the plan of attack and everything, and move forward with that. We do still have the Regal. We've got the El Camino that needs some work. We've got projects and stuff to work on. There's no shortage of that around here. So I just need a little bit of time to think about how I want to tackle this, what I want to do. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? I almost kind of feel like if we have to pull the motor out of this thing and either A, get a new, you know, rod and piston, just a Gen 4 rod and piston shove in there, or B, if we're going to, you know, if I'm going to try to start figuring out how to order the other stuff for the Texas Speed motor, you know, we're going to put maybe that in. I don't know. It's kind of like a catch-22. We could kind of put it back in here and it would work and it would be less work, but if it was all going on the Camaro anyway, or that's what I was anticipating, that's what I wanted to do, just to kind of try to help improve our situation a little bit. You know, we're not at the limit of, the Nova could still go faster. I've got the other converter, you know, we could change that out, but the Camaro being 500 pounds lighter with the same setup and a different, you know, rear end ratio, I think that there's a lot of ET we could pick up there. And I don't know, small tire, you know, these days is just out of control. It is absolutely insane how fast people are going, how much money is spent, everything. I don't know that we could ever really be super small tire competitive, at least at this moment. But at this point, I was just looking to improve ET. Like, that's going to be it for today. This video kind of sucked. Mostly because I didn't anticipate this happening like this. I legit, and that's even why like I was working on the Regal and stuff, because I was like, oh, it just needs a head gasket. It's no big deal. We didn't, you know, I didn't even think we hurt it this bad. And it's not that it's hurt super bad. Still a great motor, still a great block. It just needs a rod. But we don't have any spare Gen 4 rods. So kind of at a meh point anyway. But I will catch you guys next time. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, is it time to go full force, eat ramen noodles every day, spend all the money I can, get all the parts for the Texas Speed motor, spend all the time and everything and energy and putting it into the white Camaro, which is going to be, like I said, I think we can get it like 500 pounds lighter with me in it. Like, that's overall weight. That's pretty big deal. Or should we be trying to jam it in this thing? I don't quite know yet, but I do know that I've got some mess to clean up, and then I want to figure out how I'm going to store this, what I'm going to do. I might take the motor out, I might not. I don't know yet. I need some time to think. When things don't go according to plan, sometimes you got to step back and go, okay, what's the goals we're after? What are we trying to do? How can we get there? Everything. I think ultimately, now that we've got the Regal, I'm cool with just like having a slower car, cruise in, have a lot of fun, take to local races, do whatever, just really enjoy it. And if we really want to give ourselves the best shot at the fastest ET that we can possibly get, it's going to have to be in a lighter chassis. So for now, that's going to be it. Thank you guys always for watching, tuning in, doing a damn thing. Go to www.shitboxsupply.com. I will sell you my broken head gasket for the low price of $19.99.99, which is what I think I needed to buy a set of good heads. So I appreciate you guys. Hey, look, it is what it is. As odd as it is, I'm kind of happy because this isn't like, you know, there's a lot of crap that happens, and I'm just like, I have no idea how that happened or what happened, whatever. Like, we know exactly what went wrong here, how it went wrong, everything. We got good advice, we got good input that saved us from putting this thing back together and then just having another heartache with a bent rod. That's, you know, we can put it back together. It can make 20 more passes, it can make 100 more passes, it can make one more pass, and that thing can, you know, finally give out. So I'm not too terribly upset about everything because, you know, we didn't put ourselves in a really bad spot. We still got really good, you know, motor. This can still be a backup motor, or it could possibly one day end up in a Regal, something like that. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. For now, I got to figure things out. Peace out. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being along this journey. This is it, man. This is real life. This is how stuff really goes when you're just a regular dude trying to chase your dreams, trying to go as fast as you can, trying to have as much fun as you can. You'll have stuff like this. Don't let it beat you up. Keep going. Be too stupid to quit.